Ounces, it's time for Thanksgiving. Let me show you what you'll need. First, you're going to need foam sheets in various colors, acrylic paint, and wood shapes. We are using circles and triangles. Well, let's get started. The first thing you want to do is take your pattern pieces. There's a pattern piece for the door hanger and for the feathers and for the other two pieces on the turkey. I'm going to trace around those with the pencil. And because the foam has a springy surface, when you trace around with the pencil, it'll indent a little, so it's real easy to see even if you're using a pencil on a dark color. So I'll trace that. Then I'll trace out, I've got two here in orange, two in red, and I'll do two more in yellow. Also do the feet and the wattle, and then cut these out. Now, a tip about cutting is to go in from an edge and cut straight down. As you can see, I'm cutting away from myself. Now, if you're cutting a small piece, it's easier to cut towards yourself. And we'll just trim around. Another thing you might want to try is to use a decorative edge scissor and give this a little bit of extra detail. Now, the last piece is to cut the circle out, and you simply fold that in half and cut around. Now, you can always go back and trim or make it perfect to get your shape. Now, you can see that's kind of an eye shape. I'm going to go in now and cut back in and really get that into a nice circle shape. When we're all done, we're going to slip right here because that's how it slips on the doorknob. So I've got that, and then I'd cut out all my other pieces the same way. Now we're ready to kind of start getting these assembled. Now I'm using a special glue that's just made for this foam. And the way you apply it is because this foam has a finish and this has a finish. You want to apply adhesive to the piece that you're applying, and then let it spread around. But you actually let that dry for a few seconds. Then this is going to go in place right here, so I'm going to put a little on this as well. And you would actually let it dry for 10 to 15 seconds, but I'm going to put it right down so you can see how it goes on. And what this will do is form a real tight bond. Right now you can move it slightly to get it in place, but after it dries it'll be secure. Then we put our feet on at the bottom, and then we'd apply from the back and put all of our feathers through. So I'll put 6 along the back. Now we need to paint his eyes, and I'm going to give you a tip for painting. I've taken a piece of masking tape. I'm going to wrap it around my fingers and put the small wood piece right on. I'm going to dip in my white paint and paint his eye. As you can see, it's a nice way to keep your hands clean, but you also can get into the little edges here too. You only need to paint one side and around the edges, so I'd paint 2 white circles, and then I'm going to paint his beak yellow. Now to make those nice little dots there, I'm going to show you how to do those. I'm using the end of a paintbrush. So that's a good tip. We'll just dot it on, and you can make perfect dots every time. Now to make the black dot in the middle of his eye, I'm actually going to use just a little bit more paint, apply it, in the same way, and I've got the 2 dots for his pupils. Now to do the extra embellishment, I'm going to go around with just a black marker and go around the triangle for his beak and come across here, and I've done a kind of dotted line. Same thing, I'm going to go around his eye. Now you can give him a little personality. Now you might want to make an eyelid, draw little lines coming from his eye, and I'm going to come back around here and make that a little bit heavier. You do that with both eyes and also with his beak. Now we've got him all assembled here, but that doesn't look quite like our finished one. Let's apply our eyes, and I'm using a thick tacky glue, and they're kind of off-center to one side. And then I'm going to put his beak on. And this glue dries very quickly and it'll dry clear. Now we've got to add some detailing. And one of the things that I like to do is add dots. And as you saw in the last one, we added some paint dots. I'm going to go back to my end of my brush. Since I had black paint, I'm just going to wipe it off onto my palette. And I'm going to use yellow and white. I'm going to use yellow, which are the larger dots on the actual surface. And I'm just going to randomly put those around. Get a little more paint on there. And just dot them all different, just all around. And then come back on these, and I'm going to take another paintbrush or another tip, or I'm going to just wipe this one off, and I'll dip that in the white. And you can go back. The other thing that's really great to make dots is the head of a pin. And we'll just put those all the way around. Let me pull the finished door hanger in, and you can see I've also added a little bit of embellishment by drawing a line around here, and you can see where all the dots are, and that's your finished door hanger. Now I'll be right back to close today's show.